teaching. So, yeah. Without further ado, here they are.
Hi guys, thank you so much for coming out for this, and thank you to Shelburne Bay for allowing us to come and speak. My name's Jessica. All my friends call me Jess, and I want to just introduce kind of what we're doing here. This is Muhammad. We both work for a company called TLC. So whenever I come out to do these community presentations, I like to first let you know who I am. So, and I do that in two ways. So I have a professional connection to the topics I talk about, but also a personal connection to the topics I talk about. Personally, I was raised by my grandparents, which was an amazing experience for me. But my grandfather struggled with dementia toward the end of his life. He passed in 2016. But I was lucky enough to be one of the many caregivers in my family for him. Professionally, I started as a caregiver right out of high school as a home care aide. Now I work as the regional vice president for TLC Home Care and Nursing. And so I get to come out and do these sorts of community presentations a lot. Mohammed, would you like to say something about yourself?
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Mohammed Basha. I'm a nurse. I'm an RN by training. I'm the CEO of TLC Home Care at TLC Nursing. We provide home care services. That's my passion in life, is caring for others. And I enjoy learning new things, and this was something that was brought to us last year. And it's a great topic, and I'm really excited to share what we learned with you guys.
So something you guys should know going into this is that Mohammed and I actually drove about 16 hours to go get trained on this topic by Teepa Snow. So you guys are going to be the first group of Vermonters to hear us speak about this. With that in mind, we've set up some surveys over here on the little table. For the end, if you will just grab one of those on your way out and rate us, just so we know that we're presenting this information in a way that's helpful. So you're the very first people to receive this. That means there might be some glitches in how we're delivering it or setting up. There might be something that's not clear. Please feel free to stop me, raise your hand, let me know if you didn't understand something. So today the presenters will be myself. My name's Jessica, Mohammed, and we'll have a third presenter on video. This is Teepa Snow that we're going to be introducing. I like to introduce her as our third presenter because she's a specialist in all things older adults. She focuses on dementia and cognition. And I like to just throw this out there before we jump in because Teepa does use a couple words that I don't use when I present. So I like to give a language warning. She uses the S-bomb, which I am not willing to say out loud, but you'll hear it in here. So just before I start playing this video, I like to let you know that that language is a part of this.
Alright, so throughout the presentation, Jessica and I will share and we'll go back and forth. So always stop us and ask for any clarification or questions or concerns so we can get it addressed, and then we'll go from there. Okay?
What we're going to talk about, we need more volume.
Yeah, so we're just going to start with a video clip from Teepa.
Range for that. You try it now and see if we're good.
Now is the difference between normal aging and not normal aging.
And I've got extra speakers.
Now understand, I did not say dementia. I just said normal aging, not normal aging, because one of our big
Is this good?
misconceptions in this country.
Is that good? Is the volume good?
All right.
Is that if it's not normal aging, it's going to be dementia. And that's not true. So we've got to get that one off the table. So what I'm going to do very quickly is give you two quick little role plays that are going to take you through normal versus not normal. So I'll do normal first. I'm in the living room, and I've been watching a TV program, and the program finishes, and I decide, you know what? I'm thirsty. I think I'm going to go make a pot of coffee. And I head toward the kitchen to make coffee. But before I get all the way in the kitchen, the telephone rings. And so I answer the telephone. Hello? Oh, hey, sweetheart. How have you been? Well, yes, of course I know who it is. It's, right on down to the tip of my tongue. Starts with B. Betty, of course it's Betty. Sorry. Recognized your voice right away, just couldn't think of your name. Yeah, senior moment. Huh? What? Oh, no, I'd love to get together. Oh, today? Okay, what? At 2? This afternoon? All right. Oh, at the mall. Okay, well, which end? Macy's. Oh, that's where J.C. Penney's was, right? They moved out and then they, I know where you're talking about. Absolutely. The menswear, is that the same? Yeah, I know where to be. 2 o'clock, I'll be there. Wait right beside the door. I'll be waiting right beside that door. It's supposed to be a little chilly this afternoon. Yep. What? Oh, they opened a new chocolate store. Oh. Well, you know me. You know what I'm gonna get. I'll get caramels. I always get caramels. You're gonna get. I know you like the white flaky stuff in the chocolate. Yes, coconut, of course. That's you. Huh? Oh, no, I'll be happy to call and see if Margaret wants to come. That'd be great. Yep. Oh, the vacation pictures? Oh, yeah, I'll bring them. Wait till you see yourself in that bathing suit. Oh, I was just kidding. Just teasing you. You know how I am. Such a teaser. She's getting fat. I'm not going to say it, but she sure is getting fat. Huh? What? No, I didn't say anything. I was just talking to myself. Writing a note. All right, sweetheart. Well, I'll see you then. Love you. Okay. Bye-bye. What did I come in here for? Okay, hang on. Let me think here. I was in the living room. I was watching the TV. Program ended. Betty hadn't called. I'd been able to remember. Okay, let me think on this. Okay. I was in the living room. I was sitting right here. Okay, and the program ended, and I thought,
The kids are upstairs. Still on bullies. Still making
coughing. Why could I not think of that? Lord knows I'm losing it.
You need to a month.
Now, all of you've gone dead silent. Because all of your brains are going, oh shit, I have this. Every single one of your brains is going, oh my God. And your brain is going, that's not dimension, that can't be dimension. I don't think that's dimension, that's just normal. Isn't that normal? I think that's normal. Your brain is talking to itself. One side is going, I think you've got, no, she didn't say that was dimension. I think she said that was just not normal. I think that was okay. That happens every single time. The room gets dead silent. Because if you just think old people are worried about this crap, no, we're all concerned. Because you're going, I think I've done that. I did that just yesterday. What you've totally forgot, because in that moment your brain was going, because I said that was normal. I was going to do normal first. So here's what I think I better do. Do this. Roll your shoulders. I think we better do it one more time. You need to let it go. Breathe out all the way because you guys are going. And by the end, your brain's going, shit, oh my God, you got it. I got it. Especially when I had to come back and sit in the chair. You're going, oh my God. So.
Right, let's take a deep breath. So let's talk about this, what you just watched. Has something like this happened to you? Has that happened to you? Yeah. How about you?
Yeah.
Has? And you? Have you experienced something like this in the past? Where you get interrupted, like you mentioned, or you get pulled in 10 different directions?
I'll go over and have dinner with you sometime.
Okay.
We'll see you.
Have you noticed others in your life doing this? Maybe your partner, your friend, your neighbor, your family members. Have you? Do you have any examples you can share? What about your own experience? Can you share an example of something like this that happened to you where you were doing one thing and got interrupted by something and had to do something else?
She didn't have a pencil and paper by her phone.
There you go.
It's a great tool, having a
She
pencil.
should have written down all these different things that were happening on the phone.
Yeah. Happened to me right before I got here today. I was trying to get ready and get going, and then Jessica called me and she said, I need this for it. So I had to drop whatever I was doing, and I almost forgot something that I was supposed to bring because I got distracted. I was on a mission. I had my tasks that I needed to do to get here, but then somebody called and said they need something else, and boom, before you know it, I almost forgot a few things that I needed to bring in today. So it's normal. That's the whole point of it, is that it is normal. Think to yourself for a few moments, and why do you think this happens? Why do you think this happens, where you're doing something, you get interrupted, and you forgot what you were doing or forgot what you were going to do?
I have trouble seeing you. There's a light right behind you,
Oh.
and it's blinding.
Okay, let's see if we can get that
Let's see
turned
if I
off.
can turn that off.
So can you tell us why this happens? Or what you think?
This light here is causing trouble.
Were you using a different part of your brain?
Very good.
Part of it?
Very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
it's better.
Perfect. Yeah, so one of the suggestions was we're using a different part of the brain, which is accurate. And yes. So while you were watching this presentation that Tipo was doing, did you notice that you were breathing or thinking changed as you watched while watching what she was doing?
I found her upsetting because she moved too fast and talked too rapidly and was nervous herself.
Good, nervous. That's a good point. What about you? Did you feel like something changed? Did you have any reaction that you were like, oh, I don't like it, or I like it? Anything that you?
She's trying to do too many things at once.
Good. Too many things at once. So what seemed funny? What was funny about this whole situation, and what was anxiety producing for you? Funny is not the word,
You
okay?
mean what was funny about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or on the other side of being funny, what was anxiety provoking? Like the first time I watched it, it was, I got anxious. I was like, oh, she has this to do, that to do. Is she going to remember? And if this was my mom, I would be concerned.
I thought you'd never remember.
Exactly. Yeah. So when your brain gets anxious or nervous, it can dump cortisol, which is a stress hormone, into your system, which causes you to become even more distressed and your brain not to work as well as it normally does. So when you're anxious, your body dumps cortisol, which is a stress hormone that increases your level of stress more than what you're experiencing right at that moment. And breathing slowly and deeply and making sure to breathe out fully will help drop cortisol back down so you can think, process, and control your emotions. So one of the things that Tipa does towards the end is, and we asked you to do with us, is breathe, deep breathing. And it's the inhalation and the full fully like exhaling out is what helps reduce your cortisol level in your body. So we'll do it one more time before we go into the next part of this training. Let's take a deep breath together. Feeling calmer already? Less anxious? Not quite?
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Great. Let's check in with Tifa again.
Okay, so here we go. Hand up. Human beings have 5 ways to take things from, do this,
Can you
out
dance with
there and get them in their brain. 5 ways to take data from the world around you and
Tifa got frozen.
No difficulties, but we came prepared.
We did. We came prepared with an alternate route. So
put it in here so
There we
you
go.
can use it. You can process it, you can understand it, you can appreciate it. So the number 1 way, notice how it's separated from all the others. It's special. Do this, be an artist. Visual data. Visual data is the most powerful incoming data. It is what human beings prefer, and it is what they want first in any way of collecting data. They want to see something first. It allows them to see it, and then they can start to think about what they want to do next. But what you see is the most powerful sensory input that you're going to get in your brain. But here's the interesting thing about vision. Show me what you see with. Point to what you see with. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Put your hand back here. This is where you process in your brain what you see. So brain activity in the occipital area, the back of your brain, is where you process visual input. There's a little bit of distance there, isn't there? What connects the input system to the processing system is wiring. And in dementia, all wiring goes on the fritz and then dies. Just so you know. So there's a lot of wiring here, and it's complicated wiring. It's actually fairly complicated because how many eyes do you have? 2, so you've got to take in data from 2 eyes, integrate those 2 pieces of data, process it, and then make sense of it. So all that's happening in the back of your brain. I'll show you in a few minutes. There's a huge amount of your brain devoted to visual processing. It's huge. There's also wiring between what you see and some other parts. Second way that you get data in your brain, take your index finger. Oh, look at how it points to things. What you hear, auditory incoming. Auditory data is the second most important way that human beings get data into their brain. Auditory. But if you hear a sound off to the side, what will you immediately do? Look, because this is primary. This just alerts you to go look and see what it is you want to see. So when it comes to dementia, visual then auditory. People with dementia pay more attention and are getting more value out of what they see than what they hear. This is secondary, this is primary. Guess what caregivers like to do a lot though? Do this. Y'all love to run your mouth. You think they're paying attention to what you're saying. What they're doing is watching you when you're saying it. And they're picking up on your visual cues, but they're missing the content cues. Do this. So take the weapon that you've created, put it to your head, and pull the trigger. Because what happens is we think they're processing what we're giving them verbally, and what they're really processing is how we look visually and how we sound, but not necessarily the content. And because we're not on the same page, they're not getting this, they're getting this, we think they're getting this. This is not going to match. Who has to change? We do. So we have to use less of this and start with this. And learn to use visual more than auditory. Third way you get data in, auditory. Put your hands right here. Your temporal lobes. Both sides are involved, but they're very different. This side is very different than this side. How many ears do you have? 2. All forms of dementia, all forms attack the brain asymmetrically. It means it attacks one side of the brain more than the other. That's how it works. It hits one side and then it spreads more. So what happens in general, the left side of the brain is generally attacked sooner and faster and more devastatingly than the right side of the brain. We don't know exactly why, but most patterns of dementia attack, you're going to see more on the left than on the right. Left, right, language areas, but they're different. We'll come back to that in a little bit. Third way that you get data in your brain, take that middle finger, drop it down, and touch it to the back of your other hand. Now this is actually complicated, and this is one of the most complicated, and it also takes up a lot of brain space. This is sensory motor. You feel something, you do something, you do something, you feel something. They're wired together, so that when you feel something, if you like it, you do more of it. If you don't like it, you stop doing it. So when you feel something, you do something to change or encourage or facilitate what you're feeling, and if you don't like it, you don't do it anymore. Here's the biggest challenge of dementia care. Turn to the person next to you. And if you will come up this time. Thanks. All right, now what we're going to do is eliminate vision, and we're not going to talk. Okay, so we're taking away two of the ways that you would normally be able to get data into your brain, and I'm just going to use that third way. Go ahead and do that so you get the feel of what it feels like when you're doing this. So you can already tell where I'm going with this. This is not a good one to start with because most people are not fond of the idea of starting an interaction like this. And I do this particularly so you'll start to get the idea of no touching until you've done a visual verbal, and only then are you allowed to do the touch. You got to make sure they come together. So here's what we're going to do. You close your eyes. People with dementia, put your hands behind your back because I want you to feel incredibly vulnerable. That's what this disease does. It robs you of skills, so you suddenly are pretty vulnerable. And you thought you were competent. Okay, so caregivers, here's what you're going to do. You watch me and do to them what I do to my person. Okay, y'all should have your eyes closed. There should be no peeking. Notice how many of you opened them up to see what I was up to. Yeah, they're sneaky like that. Okay, you ready? We're going to use these. Okay, you ready? And now, one more. Now, I'm going to pause you.
Okay, so we're going to do our first experiential thing here together. So since we've got an odd number in the crowd, Mohammed, will you go partner with that young lady in the back? And if you two can partner up, get together, can you move to closer to where she's sitting so we can do some partner activities? I'm going to have everybody stand if you're comfortable doing so. You can sit if you're not. And what I'm going to ask you to do is exactly what Teepa and the woman in the video did. So one person is going to pretend to be someone with dementia, and one person is going to pretend to be a caregiver. The person who chooses to pretend to be the person with dementia is going to close their eyes, and the person who's choosing to be the caregiver is going to do what Teepa did. You're going to touch their hair, and you're going to touch somewhere on their legs. Can you guys do that for me?
You want to be the one with your eyes closed?
Yeah.
You want to stay seated?
I don't know.
You want to stay seated?
Well,
But I
what
have to pretty
Okay.
much.
You
just
stay
gonna
you stay
cue the
seated.
person so I can
Close your eyes.
So close your eyes.
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much for participating. So for the folks who were the ones who had their eyes closed, how did that feel to be touched without knowing where it's coming from? How did that feel?
Kind of invasive.
Invasive? Strange? Yeah? How did it feel to be touching someone who can't see you coming?
It didn't bother me a bit.
It didn't bother you a bit. Have you done caregiving before?
It doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right. I would agree with that. So what I want you guys to do is turn to your partners, and I want the person with their eyes closed to explain to the other person what they wanted to do when they were touched without knowing it was coming. Did you want to swat them away? What did you want to do when she touched you?
It really didn't bother me.
It didn't bother you?
I think it's because I've done here a lot of period. And I understand what you're trying to do.
Yeah. So I heard something interesting up here. She said that she's been in a caregiving role before, so she kind of knew that your intentions were good, so it didn't feel quite as weird for you to be touched even though you didn't know it was coming.
No, it didn't bother me. that
didn't
she
bother
did
you?
it, No.
Okay. And what about back there?
I wasn't really comfortable with it.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do.
So why do you think you felt uncomfortable?
Because you don't know what the person's going to do to you.
Right.
Are they gonna hurt you, or are they gonna be nice?
So you felt uncomfortable, but it sounds like you also felt afraid. You didn't know what was happening, so you had fear.
Right.
So I think we kind of understand why we felt the way that we did. We had fear, we didn't know what was happening, we couldn't see, we didn't know when it was coming. What do you think this would feel like for someone with dementia? Someone who not only can't see you, but also maybe has cognitive decline. What do you think that would feel like? Would it bring our fear responses up, or would we feel less fear?
More
More?
fear.
More fear? Yeah. So when you're trying to help someone do things, how could we have done that differently? That wouldn't have been so fear-inducing for you?
You could have spoken first.
Spoken first, yeah.
Mhm.
What else? Is there anything else we could have done?
Would that be to tell that person, I'm going to tell them that they're going to touch their head?
Exactly. Tell them where you're
Where
going to
you're going
touch
to
them.
touch them.
That's a great way. What about letting them open their eyes?
Oh, yes.
Starting with that visual that we talked about. Remember, visual and then sound? So you said tell them that you're going to touch them and where you're going to touch them, which is a great idea. But also let them see you. Right? So is it true, from what you guys have seen, just from your experience, that when we're dealing with folks with dementia, do we do things with them or do we do things to them? What have you seen?
I think you would
I
do
think you do
something.
with them.
You think it would be better to do it with them?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. So let's check in with Teepa.
I'm doing this with my husband right now,
Oh, that's hard.
so.
Yeah, if you have questions afterwards and you want to stick around, I'll stick around a
I
little
mean,
bit.
that's why I'm here. I wanted to see this presentation because I'm here with my husband
Yeah.
and he is. And, well, he's in the first, he's really not too bad, but he's in first part of dementia.
Yeah.
And I just was interested in hearing what you had to say about it.
Of course. Well, I hope we'll be able to give you some tools that will help. But like I said, if you have any questions or you want more information after the presentation, I'll stick around for a few minutes so we can talk. So let's check back in with Teepa and see how this experiment went for her and her learners.
How many of you found at some point who were being touched, your eyes flew open? How many of you realized you had a really hard time not going, oh, wait a minute, hang on there? Now, what I want you to do right now is touch yourself where we just touched you. Go ahead and touch yourself where we made the touches.
How is it different this time around that you're touching it yourself and not someone else?
You know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Good, good. Yeah, and you can, you know what you're doing. Exactly, exactly. So how is it different from, or how was it same from last time when somebody was touching you? Was there anything similar, other than the same thing, but you're still feeling the same thing? So in the earlier version that Jessica showed, that somebody else was touching you, like you didn't know what was happening, and you said it just didn't feel comfortable. But when you're touching it yourself, is it more comfortable or less comfortable?
Comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're gonna have you turn together, and I'm gonna ask Jessica's help to be the partner for our participant in the back. And let's have a discussion around what made it feel different and why. What made this feel different and why when you're doing it yourself compared to previously when someone else was touching you?
First of all, you knew it was yourself. You knew the
We're
person.
gonna talk together.
Yeah. Oh, are we,
Yeah.
Tell me,
yeah, I'm sorry.
you're familiar, I mean, you're
Yeah.
familiar with what you're doing to yourself.
Yes, right,
And you knew what touch was coming.
right.
For me, I know like when someone else touches me, I like,
And I think part of my, didn't bother me was that I didn't know you. I
That's
was
right,
just
you
sort
know.
of touching,
Yeah, you
touching.
didn't know how I'd
No,
respond. I might sock you.
Pardon me?
I might sock you.
Yes.
Why he was outside and it was so warm.
So would you, are you guys done? Would you mind sharing what you guys discussed? The rest of the group?
Pardon?
So what did you discuss? What was some of the things that you guys shared?
I know sometimes they're very nice.
Oh,
Well, it's just that she didn't know what I would do
no, I didn't know her at all.
because she doesn't know me at all, and vice versa.
But when you're doing it to yourself, it was much
Yes, yes, you knew
just
that,
felt normal.
right.
Okay. What
you
about?
said something good about not knowing.
I don't know, and maybe it's me,
No.
but I don't know that we have a few people here that have dementia. And they're very nice people, but it looks like they're very quiet, and then suddenly they get very angry at you. And you don't know why they're angry at you. You don't know what they're going to do. It's a little strange.
Yeah, and stressful.
Yes, it is.
So we're gonna go back to
Try
Tifa,
calm you down, but
then
How many of you feel that that feels different than when we touched you? Yeah, because if you are doing it yourself, you're actually sending and receiving, and it's a closed circuit. However, when we do to you, it's an open circuit, and for your brain, we eliminated the knowledge of where and when the touch was going to occur, and so your brain was going, oh, 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 oh. It was a hyper alerting, and let me tell you something that we don't think about touch. Light moving touch. Light moving touch. Cockroaches crawling on your skin. Clothes rubbing across. Someone sneaking up on you. Light moving touch is an alerting, arousing touch. It's the hyper alert kind of thing. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Because it says something's coming and you don't know what it is. And so what happens when we put our hands on people, even lightly, so you touch them lightly and say, wake up, sweetheart. Because it came out of nowhere. So what I'm going to do is have you try something a little different. And we'll really work on this skill this afternoon, but I want you to test drive the model and see if it makes a difference. Okay? I want you to shake hands with the person. Now, I want you to tell me for a second, what's the most common contact we have with other human beings when we're greeting them and interacting with them? Hand contact, right? So shake hands, and notice the next thing you're going to want to do is leg up. Up. Well, that's a bit of a problem. Because I want to stay connected, because I want to keep the touch so that you'll know what I'm going to do. But the problem is when I lose skill and keep strength, and I like pressure, go ahead and do it. Ow! Wait, Mom, let go! Let go! What are you doing? Okay? Or if they feel like I'm trying to hold on to them, it makes them want to get away from me. Okay? So what we're going to do is as soon as we shake, where did I tell you you found comfort? So what we're going to do, and I don't want to trap your fingers. I want to leave your fingers free. I want my fingers free, but I want to be connected to you. So what I'm going to do is slide like this. Do this. Open your fingers up, both of you. Open your fingers up. Make them go like this. You should feel like you've created a bird, a butterfly. You're connected, but you're free to move. Close them down. They can hold on to you. They can use strength. They might use skill. It's comforting because you got pressure down there at the palm. And here's the really cool part. Hold on to them with your strength fingers, and you still can use your skill fingers. How cool is that? And you turn it so you're underneath, which gives the sense of, I'm here to support you and help you, not to try to keep you from doing things. Okay?
All right, so Mohammed, will you partner back up one more time? So we're all going to try this. I want my caregiver, you were the caregiver in our demonstration, right? To act like you're going to shake hands. And then I want you to turn your hands so that you create that butterfly. So keep your thumbs locked. There you go. Show me the wings of that butterfly. Now you know you got it. Now, caregiver, I want you to wrap your hands around her thumb. Perfect. Yep. And then put your hand so that it's on the bottom. So just flip it. There you go. Now, what I want you to try here from this position is touching her hair again. With the hand that you've got captured here. So with these fingers free, I want you to move her hair away from your glasses. There you go. And Mohammed, can you do that with her? There you go. Now I have a question for you guys. How does that feel different than when they were doing it to you and you couldn't see it coming? Does that feel different at all?
Only that you're connected.
That you're connected?
Connected.
Now, I want you to try it closing your eyes. The people who closed their eyes before, close your eyes again and do the same thing. Move their hair away from. Now, my question to you is, did you know it was coming that time?
No.
With your hands held, did you know that her hand was going to touch your head?
No.
Well, it got closer.
Yeah? Yeah, because you're holding their
Close.
hand.
Yeah.
You can
That's-
feel what's going to happen, right?
You could tell that I was coming up
Yeah.
to your head.
So the keys to this hand under hand approach is we go in like we're going to shake hands. We keep our thumbs crossed. We create that butterfly. We do supportive. Caregiver goes underneath. So if you're supporting someone, you should be supporting their hand.
Okay.
And then you can continue to use your fingers here. So I'm the caregiver in this example. You see how my hand's under Mohammed? I can continue to use my fingers to do whatever I need to do. If I'm assisting with eating, I can use a spoon. If I'm helping to brush teeth. And the whole time, Mohammed knows where my hand is because his hand is attached to me. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So if I'm the person that's receiving care and I'm the person with dementia, then when Jessica does this, I know I'm going to open my mouth. If she's coming up, I know that it's going up and it's not a surprise,
Right.
right? It doesn't feel like it's almost like I'm doing it and she's just supporting me,
Just helping.
right? She's just supporting me and she's not doing it to me. She is doing it
With you.
exactly.
Yeah. So let's check
Your
back
hand's
in with.
nice and warm. Your hand is nice and warm.
Let's check back in with Tifa here and see how her and her learners are faring.
Now, here's what we're going to do. You're going to lay your other hand on top of the back of their hand. You try this. Get them to, oh, now this is an interesting phenomenon. The oldest sensory motor track in the human brain is eye-hand. It is the one that develops first. You put a baby, sit it up at 3 months. What will happen if you let go? Down it goes. It doesn't even have trunk control. Doesn't have head control. But if you lay it on its back so it doesn't have to do a whole lot of work, and you put the dangly crap down, right in the middle range. They're fascinated by it, because they like to see it. And then they're just starting to learn how to do some of this stuff. So they're not very good at it. They don't have skill. They just have some strength. They're learning how, and they're learning to move against gravity. And so, and you can watch them when they get it. It's like, look what I did. Did you see it? I have control. And suddenly their excitement builds because they have the feeling that they control the world. Ah. So what we're going to do, that's the oldest, most primitive sensory motor system in the brain. It's the one that is going to prevail the longest through the end of this disease. It'll be the last one I lose. I hand. But I'll lose skill before I lose strength.
So Jessica, if I can ask you for help. So we're going to practice the eye-hand connection using hand-under-hand contact. So you're going to be, the partner is going to look away, and the caregiver is going to pump their hand to get the eye contact and visual regard. So I'm going to have you do the hand-under-hand, and one person is going to be the caregiver, and the other is going to be the care recipient, and the caregiver is going to pump their hand to get their attention. So I'm going to have you look away for a second, and then I'm going to have you pump. So you're going to look away, and what did that do?
That makes you want to look at,
Exactly.
see why is there.
Yeah, it just touched, but it made you look back, even though you weren't looking there. And she didn't say anything,
Right.
did she? No, but it made you look, right? Okay. So we're back to Teepa.
But here's the really cool part about human beings. Do this. How cool is this? Visual motor. Watch this. She's here, she's looking around. So let your partner look around for a second.
You guys
They're
follow the
distracted.
video?
The world's really interesting. They're excited. Well, how cool is this? Take your other hand, lay it gently on the back, and give a pump in the hand. And no matter what they're doing, they will pause, they will look at the hand, and they will look at you.
So if you guys want to follow along with what she's doing, if you'll go back to the hand-under-hand contact, put your hand on the back.
Let them look away. Pause. Give them a chance. Check. Because when your hand touches something, your eyes want to see what it is. When your eyes are looking at something, it will also draw your hands. That's the other bad news. So what their eye sees, their hand wants to touch. And you're surprised when they start doing it. Well, you're the one that said, exactly. You put it right where they can see it, within arm's reach, and they're going, okay, look, goodies. On the other hand, if I do this, no matter what she's doing, she's going to notice me. Once I've got her looking at me, here you go. Force. Yeah. There you go. Good. You got it? Yeah. Yeah. Now, right here. Got it? Perfect. She travels with me, so her brain is both getting and giving. I've reestablished the two parts of the loop so that she is doing with me, I am not doing to her. And she can give me feedback. I'm liking this, this scared me, this was okay. Take more time here, but this was fine. Did she give me all that feedback? Yeah, we're talking to each other without words. Because what I'm doing is using what she has left to help me communicate with her with the way that she can get the communication, as opposed to overwhelming her system with data. Okay? So with your partner, I want you to give that a try.
Okay, so if you guys want to partner up again, oh, we've got a new person. Hi, welcome. Oh, careful, Mohammed.
Thought I had it.
I'm Jessica. Hi. Hi. Velma. So we're doing some partner exercises. Would you be willing to sit back here and partner with this young lady back here to do some exercises?
I guess I could.
Thank you.
I don't know what we're to do.
So
The
here's
same
what.
thing.
Yep.
That
So what I
we
want you
were
guys to do is do
practicing.
the hand under hand hold, and you'll have to show her how to do it. I have faith in you as a teacher. You've done it a couple times now. So you're gonna do the hand under hand hold. And what I want you to do is I want you to try the couple things that we've tried so far. So the first thing I want the caregiver to try, so the person who's on the bottom, is to pump the hand and get their attention. Did you get their attention?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Like that.
Okay, and then I want you to try one of those tasks that we did. So either caregiver, move your care receiver's hair out of their face, or adjust their collar.
Use those fingers.
There you go.
Use the fingers.
Yep, you want to be able to use these so you can grab something if you need to. There you go.
Adjust your glasses.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, so you think you're doing it too.
exactly.
If you're gonna go dust stuff off her legs, you're gonna travel.
Wonderful.
We're still connected.
You wanna hold on.
Yeah, you're still connected, exactly. That's exactly what you're looking for, is that connection.
Your hair, fix your hair, and then you go fix her hair. So we're working, we're providing care with the person, not to the person.
So what happened when you provided care with the person? What did that look like for you guys? What did you do?
More comfortable.
More comfortable? Did it feel different? We've talked about this a couple times. Does it feel different to have things done that way rather than when you having it done to you? Yeah.
Yeah, being connected.
Yeah, being connected, exactly. And being connected is one of the reasons. What are some other reasons it would feel different to have care done with you as opposed to you? Why would that feel different?
Well, although I don't know this lady, I feel like there's a little bond between us.
That's amazing. So you say you don't know this
No,
person that you're
no, we
working
don't
with,
know.
No, we don't know each other.
but you do now.
Because it creates a bond, like you said, that's perfect way to explain it.
Exactly.
Yep.
So you spoke about your husband. As
Yes.
you're moving through this, how will you care for him differently with this skill as opposed to without it?
Well, he hasn't lost his ability
That's
to
great.
do things by himself. And he's really, he depends upon me a lot too much. But, I find the thing that I have more trouble with is that he is delusional. And he occasionally hallucinates, sees things. These are hard to deal with because he insists that I see the things he sees. And of course I don't. Now what do I say to him? No, or do I agree with him? Do I change the subject? I try to do that, but it's not very easy because he's very determined.
Yeah.
And he's been a very positive person, always more or less the one in charge.
Well, he's really lucky to have you there supporting him. Even if he's dealing with these delusions or these hallucinations, he's really fortunate to have somebody there to support him. We don't deal a lot with how to redirect behavior in this talk, but I'm doing one next month where we really delve into how to do that. It's still with Teepa Snow, it's a lot of the same stuff, so it builds really well on this conversation. But this video specifically in this talk doesn't go into that as much as I really want to right now with you.
Well, I'm only bringing it up is that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here. I came with him because I wanted to be with him.
of course.
So,
That's great. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing.
I need help.
So I'm going to ask you guys to switch places. So whoever's been the caregiver this whole time, if you will be the care receiver, and you will try those switch it. So the person who's been getting the care, please go to being the care receiver.
So you're on the bottom. Is that right?
So I'll have
You're on the bottom.
Yes.
I'll have you go on the top this time. Can you shake hands?
They want one hand on top.
I missed her here.
That's perfectly all right.
Touch you.
You see her hand?
Open my eyes.
I can't.
My eyes
Oh,
don't.
yeah, you did. Got to go.
That makes this broken.
No,
that's okay.
Does that change?
But that's what we're doing, is we're.
Well, take
That did change a little bit.
So if you can't do it, that's fine.
your earring.
So. You see, if I
Your
can
neck
do
is so big. It's pretty.
my mind.
They do?
Yes, this is way easier for me.
Nice.
All right, thank you guys so much for participating. I'm gonna check back in with Tifa.
Feel the difference between touching with versus touching someone. All right, so you're starting to get a sense of this. That kind of assistance has a term, and the term I've given that kind of assistance is hand under hand. It denotes the position of my hand. My hand is under yours. My hand is there to support yours. You're the boss. I'm here to help. I'm here to guide. I'm here to assist. I'm not here to take over and try to do things to you. I want to do things with you. Because I know if I can get your brain to understand what I'm doing, you're going to cooperate. You can give me feedback even when you can't speak anymore. You can give me feedback that doesn't result in me getting hit. We can figure out ways to share